Hey guys, Coach Theo here, and I got to share with you today an incredible story about my last few seconds with Grandpa Ralph before he died. And death is not easy to talk about, but we've been faced with it hard this past week. And something happened so profound that I can't just keep it to myself. I got to share it with you. So let me tell you the story, and then I'll share with you my biggest takeaway and how we can all learn something from this experience. So my wife's Grandpa Ralph, passed away last week, and it was 8 weeks of a lot of complications. He went in for a minor surgery. He was a fully healthy man before that, and then this surgery kind of took him out. Infection after infection eventually took his life. And so last Sunday, we went to the hospital, and we walked in, and right before that, Amber kind of prepped me because I hadn't seen Grandpa Ralph for a few months since he was the healthy, independent man that I knew. And so now he's on this hospital bed, and he's frail, and he's weak, and you could tell he's dying. And so she announces that I'm there. And right away, Grandpa Ralph opens his eyes, which is kind of unusual. He's kind of connected now. He's understanding. And, I'm thinking, wow, he's kind of with it right now. And Amber's noticing something different happening. Grandpa Ralph and I always had a connection. He always thought highly of me. And here's how I know. When I first started selling my book, Conversations with Gio, I got up to 300 copies. I was so excited. And I found out Ralph bought 150 of them. That's just the type of man he was. He really supported me, so there was a strong connection with each other, and you could feel that in this room. And after a few minutes of with him, kind of feeling awkward, didn't know what to say, if he was going to be able to hear me, I said, you know what? I got to pray for him. And I didn't really feel like I was able to, but I just said, Grandpa Ralph, can I pray for you right now? Guys, I tell you what, he lit up. He reached up high, he put his hand around my neck, and now he's kind of turning a little bit. His eyes are open, and he is fully alive. And we pray for a few minutes, and he thanks me. And his biggest prayer was, Theo, pray that I go quick and easy. I realize I'm not going to make it, so please have God take me. Pray that he takes me. I said, if that's God's plan, then I will pray that for you, Grandpa Ralph. Well, I tell you what, you should have saw the peace and calmness that took over his body. And for the next 40 minutes, he sat there and talked with me and Amber, and he was fully engaged and fully with it. It was unreal. And so he shared with me his sufferings and his pain over the last 8 weeks. He asked me to take care of his daughter and his granddaughter. And then he did something that blew me away. He started praying for me. When he started praying, it was clear as day. It was eloquent. No difficulty understanding him. I swear I felt like God was working right through him. And he prayed that I continue to pursue my ministry. And he said, keep preaching, Theo. Listen. If you're not getting hit right now, I need you to check your pulse, because this is the crazy stuff that happens. God will use a mess, turn it into a message. This is when he uses his suffering and turns it into a speech. When he uses pain and turns it into power. Here's Grandpa Ralph on his deathbed, 80 years old, fully independent. Now he's fully dependent. And this could be the moment that God built him up to and said, now I'm going to use you. Watch this. I'm going to work through you, and I'm going to speak some life into this guy, Theo. And I'm going to make sure that he's doing what I've called him to do. Because here's the thing, Grandpa Ralph hasn't always been like this. It wasn't until 70, 75 years old that he was saved. He made bad decisions. He didn't have a filter. He just said stuff, and he maybe hurt some people. But in the last few years, he was a Jesus-loving, God-loving servant. And he was used many times in my life. So there are second chances, guys. And he will use you even at your weakest moment. Now, here's the most incredible thing to finish this story off. As I'm walking out of the hospital, I'm holding my baby. I'm crying. I'm kind of rocked, trying to figure out how to process this all. There's a song playing over the loudspeaker, clear as day. And it goes, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. The message was loud and clear. God will use what he has to use to get it across. For 2 weeks leading up to this point, I was kind of questioning what my next step was. And guess what? It was now evident to keep on preaching. So I just want to say that this is a call to action to all of us. We're all faced with death. We all walk into these funerals and we say, wow, I just feel more alive right now. I don't want to take life for granted. But please, when we just start doing stuff with it, stop holding back. Let God use us. Believe in second chances. And would you please say what you need to say? I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to keep preaching loud and proud for you, Grandpa Ralph. And I will encourage all of you today to please, for the sake of God, for the sake of your life, for the sake of all of our family members and friends that passed away, start living differently today. It will be an absolute game changer for you and everyone in your life. God bless.